I was not the biggest fan of it.
I thought it was okay. I liked it more than you did. I'm starting to dislike it more and more as time goes by.
Yeah.
It was okay. I just say that I thought it was okay. I don't ever want to see it again, though.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I don't ever want to see it again. We'll see where it goes from here. Overall, this show, I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I'd probably give it a 6. It's like it was not terrible or not even bad because there were some things about it that were good, like the world title matches were good for the most part. Universal title matches way above expectations. WWE Championship match delivered, and yeah, I mean that was basically it. I mean, everything else is just okay. There wasn't anything terrible. Like there was an awful match in the show. I mean, I guess like I didn't like the Money in the Bank deal. I think what it just was with me too was just like it was just like a bunch of like it was gonna be like a I guess like a train wreck in terms of like you knew there's just gonna be a bunch of just stuff just thrown in there together just to make it wild and outrageous, and you knew that going into it. Like it was by design, and that's kind of how they made it out to be. It's like there's no way with how they're describing this that this wasn't going to be a mess, like for good or bad. But I guess what just did it for me is like even from the beginning, it's like when they had them do their entrances and stuff. I'm like, and they had their music playing. It's like, what is going on? So like I just from that point there, and it's just like then you had the cameos in between, like with there was the clown and there was Brother Love, and then there's John Laurinaitis. I mean, like generally, I don't mind like little funny like cameos are in there. I mean, that's what they was supposed to be, I guess. Like I don't mind like little comedy bits and stuff, but it just seemed kind of weird. It's like of all people to put in there, it's just kind of strange. So, and then they had them all in a food fight. It's like you got Aleister Black and like, Shayna Baszler and. Got these people like in a food fight. It's like I don't know. I didn't like that as much. I mean, some people probably think I'm taking it a bit too serious or whatever, but I don't know. As I said, I didn't like it as much. I mean, I thought some of the other cinematic matches, I guess you could say. I mean, this wasn't done like the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse match, but it wasn't done obviously in live action. It was like pre-taped and you could tell, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't done in those elements. I mean, in the Boneyard match, I absolutely love. I mean, that was just pure gold. So I just didn't like it as much. What can I say? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to see it again necessarily. I mean, I don't know if they would do it again necessarily. I mean, if things are under normal circumstances or relatively more normal circumstances, they obviously wouldn't do it again. But what can I say? It is what it is. I'm fine with Asuka winning. I mean, I picked Baszler to win. I picked Black to win, but I kind of got the feeling Aleister Black wasn't going to win because also it's like, I guess they could have waited till there's like a heel champion or something. Or he's probably honestly the guy. If he would have had the briefcase, he could just cash in like in a normal match or something. But I got the feeling they weren't going to do that. But I said going into it though, I was hoping that they push new stars with it. I mean, Asuka isn't necessarily a new star, but this is like the first, I guess, big break you could say that she's had like as a solo wrestler as a heel. So it's definitely interesting there. So yeah. I'm more than happy with that. Otis, I didn't want to say I'm against it because, it's nothing against him as a talent or as a character or persona or whatever. I just don't know where they're going to go with it. So I'm kind of just lost there. That's more so what I was trying to get with that. So, that's that. So I guess we'll just see where that goes. As far as a rating for this goes, I'm not even going to dare rate it because it's like, how could you rate something like this? Really? I mean, I know there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people who are going to rate it. Like, I even did this with the Firefly Funhouse match. It's like I didn't know what to rate it, so I went without rating it. Should I have? I mean, probably, but I probably should rate this too. But I just don't know what to do because I rated the Boneyard match and I gave that like all the 5 stars that there were. So but it's just I don't know. It's hard to rate that.
So that's 2020 Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's our 2020 Money in the Bank review and recap. I'm glad we were able to get some length out of this relatively. Of course, we covered a ton of detail with the 2011 Money in the Bank show that we did for our 24th edition of Rewind. So if you have not yet, be sure to check that out as well. So I'm glad we were able to get something out of this. didn't have a lot to work off of, really. I mean, it was just it was like a
Show was really short.
2 hour and 25-minute show. That part was unacceptable. Like, that should never happen. Because they're supposed to be 4 hours now. Like, even back then, like when it was like 3 hours, I mean, even this would have been like a stretch to cut it this short. But I mean, 4 hours.
I couldn't imagine if I paid $60 for this. How pissed I'd be.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like I'm really hoping that they don't go with that that deal where they just sell their rights off to ESPN or just some like company of some streaming service or whatnot, because they had WrestleMania on Fight TV. I think that was a bit of a test. I mean, you could get people to buy WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and I think that's probably the 3 pay-per-views you could probably do like 100,000 buys or more off of. I don't think anything else would. I mean, you got Survivor Series, which I mean, I guess there's a little interest there, but even then, I don't think it's like as big of a deal as like some people thought of it in the past. Like, I don't think people are nearly as into it anymore. But that's just me. I know when it comes around, it's like it's like it's cool, it's a show, but it's like it's not as special to me as it used to be.
No.
And I don't know how a show like this would do, like on a market where people had to buy it for like $50, $60.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that's our review.
So I hope you guys like this one. Be sure to, as I said, check out the rewind if you've not already, and if you have checked it out, be sure to share it or tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone who's a professional wrestling fan who may like a program like this to check it out. Of course, be sure to follow us on social media. Be sure to follow JNC Radio at JNC_radio on both Twitter and Instagram. Like our official Facebook page. We do have a Twitch page, which we have not done anything with. I haven't mentioned this part in a while, but at some point in time, I would like to do something off of there. Of course, we had a SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 GM Mode series planned out that we were looking to launch at some point in time. We don't have an official start date for it yet, but just know that that's in the works to be done. So, yeah, look forward to that. That was announced on social media recently, so be sure to stay up to date and details for when that looks to drop. And, of course, as I said, follow us on Spreaker.com, Spotify, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. JNC Radio is available on all major platforms, including the ones I just named. iHeartRadio, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, YouTube, you name it, we're on there. So, I mean, there's many different ways you can listen to the show. And I'd like to thank Josh as well for joining us for the Rewind number 24 for Money in the Bank 2011. It was a great time having him on here. And we'll to do many shows with him down the road. And once again, thanks to Bryant for joining us once again for this and being a part of the crew, being a part of another review and recap. But, I mean, he's been a part of quite a few this year. He's part of the Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank. So happy to have him a part of this as well. But that's all we got for you guys here today. Hope you guys liked it, and peace out.